My uncle let me keep The Black Napoleon. It became my book. I do not recall sharing it with my sisters or my cousins or my friends. That time I tried to run away from home at 14, I tied a belt around it along with the rest of my books, going I don't know where. No clothes, no shoes, just books and $3. I could not take Lady Chatterley's Lover. I did not have it all. I only had a few lines shared with a few girls. Books leave gestures in the body, a certain way of moving, of turning, a certain closing of the eyes, a way of leaving hesitations. Books leave certain sounds, a certain pacing. Mostly they leave the elusive, which is all the story. They leave much more than the words. Words can be thrown together. It is their order, and when they catch you, their time. These first two books shaped me. And I suspect that I have been writing these two books ever since, recalling and reimagining them. I had been seduced by them. The fact is, I remember them only in my body. I cannot quote a single line from them, and I have not ever felt the need to return to them physically, though I know that I always return to them as I write. The emotions they spoke of were perhaps contradictory to what one might simplistically call desire. But desire is disclosed as a complex. There is a range of experience within the space which is called desire. Toussaint and Dessalines embodied faith and ferocity, different constructs which amplified my sense of desire. The lady and the gamekeeper embodied dissonances of the physical body, the racial body, and the gendered body. The canonical locations of light and dark, male, female, master, slave were broken or interrupted in both books. Desire's province widened to the flying pieces, their occasional collection into a movement or a color or a sigh, ever shifting, ever reimagined. Writing is an act of desire, as is reading. Why does someone enclose a set of apprehensions within a book? Why does someone else open that book, if not because of the act of wanting to be wanted, to be understood, to be seen, to be loved? And desire is also an act of reading, of translation. The poet Joy Harjo writes, "Nearly everyone had left that bar in the middle of winter except the hardcore. It was the coldest night of the year, every place shut down, but not us. Of course, we noticed when she came in. We were Indian ruins. She was the end of beauty." Desire, too, is a discovery of beauty as miraculous, desire in the face of ruin. How in these lines there is such wreckage, and that too is beauty. How in those lines there is such clear-eyed dread, such deeply mocking knowledge, and that too is desire. How those lines read beauty and desire into any given night, in any place, trailer park wasteland, rural rum shop, shebeen, sports bar, speakeasy, piss and beer reeking dive, beauty walks in. On any given night, even with history against you in any hardscrabble place, beauty walks in. The ruin of history visited on a people does not wipe out the steadfastness of beauty. Not a naive beauty, but a hard one. Beauty, it seems, is constantly made. It is both fortunate and unfortunate. Surprising. For some, to find beauty is to search through ruins. For some of us, beauty must be made over and over again out of the sometimes fragile, the sometimes dangerous. To write is to be involved in this act of translation, of succumbing or leaning into another body's idiom. Some years ago, a young man, surely on his way to ruin, stepped into the street on a square in Amsterdam. The night just approaching, I watched him from a distance, well into the night. His figure was in anguish and discomfort. It jangled. It wanted to be and not to be in the square. He was a kind of despair I had never experienced, and experienced then only through his drifting into the street. My despair is private, but his was public and private all at once. His drifting into the street, his slight hesitation, this was beauty. I saw that young man drop into the square like a drop of water into an ocean. That is, I saw his body, his back half turned toward me, his right leg hovering before stepping off the curb. My eyes followed his yellow-clad body, or it seemed to be yellow in that dark street. The square had a way of darkening with secrets, so the light was yellow, his figure was yellow. That was beauty. His anguish was beauty. His legs stopping, his face whipping around in search of someone, yet his disinterest somehow in people, the glaze to his eyes, yet their sharpness in seeking out the thing, the someone he was after. All was beauty. He was someone in his own gesture, the thing that writers envy. It is clever and cold, edgy, and it belonged to him. To desire, then, to read and translate may also be to envy, to want to become. What is it that I wanted to pour myself into? His grief, his cold sweat, his life uncertain of its next step? And I wanted to do it only for the moment it took to put it on a page, to feel its texture, and then to run back quickly to my uncomplicated hotel room and my as yet uncomplicated page. To desire may also be to complicate. I want to say something else about desire. I really do not know what it is. I experience something which, sometimes, if I pull it apart, I cannot make reason of. The word seems to me to fall apart under the pull and drag of its commodified shapes, under the weight of our artifice and our conceit. It is sometimes impossible to tell what is real from what is manufactured. We live in a world filled with commodified images of desire. Desire clings to widgets, chairs, fridges, cars, perfumes, shoes, jackets, golf clubs, basketballs, telephones, waters, soap powder, houses, neighborhoods, even God. It clings to an endless list of objects. It clings to the face of television sets and movie screens. It is glaciered in assigned objects. It is petrified in repetitive, cliched gestures. Their repetition is tedious, the look and sound of them tedious. We become the repetition despite our best efforts. We become numb. And though against the impressive strength of this, I can't hope to say all that desire might be, I wanted to talk about it, not as it is sold to us, but as one collects it, piece by piece, proceeding through a life. I wanted to say that life, if we are lucky, is a collection of aesthetic experiences as it is a collection of practical experiences, which may be one and the same sometimes, and which, if we are lucky, we make a sense of. Making sense may be what desire is, or putting the senses back together.